Hi, everybody. Hi, good evening. Hi, good evening, everyone. Wherever you're joining from, you're welcome. Hi, it's raining in Lagos, and if you are here, it means you're a good student. You're a good student. I give you that. Hi, good evening. How was your day? I hope your day was good. And you are excited about tonight's class because I am excited. I am super excited about today's class, as always, really. Today, okay, while other people join, today we're going to be talking about writing. I'm going to be talking about writing across different platforms, across websites, social media posts, across blog posts as well. And then my favorite part is where I teach you, where I will come down and tell you the different storytelling techniques that we have and that you can utilize to become, to become the content marketer and the copywriter that, you want to be, right? So, should we go right into it? But I mean, it has been the classes. Hope you've learned something from last week. Sorry about last class. I'm pretty sure a lot of us could not hear, or there were some technical issues. So sorry about that. I hope that today's class will be very, very smooth. It's going to be very, very smooth, and then we're going to have a lot of fun as always, right? So, just a brief summary of what we did last week. I mean, if you have not opened your social media accounts to start posting, you are wrong. That's number one. If you have not done your content strategy that I asked you to do in the last class, last Wednesday, you are wrong. You are very, very wrong. Very, very, in fact, absolutely wrong, right? So, I might not be able to see everyone's assignment, but I want you to know that at the end of each class, right, I really love to see everything that you've learned. I want to see you actualize them because, like I said in the beginning, it's really about what you do. It's not about what I say here, right? It's how this can be the class that transforms your life, that helps you to earn more or puts you in the room that you want to be is through your execution, is through what you do, right? So if you've not done your assignment, which is to open a social media account, start posting everything that you're learning here and start implementing it. Every growth strategy, every content calendar, every content pillar. Because I know in the last class you guys learned content, how to create a content calendar. So if you've not started doing that, you're wrong. If you've not done the last assignment which I gave, which was to create a content strategy for a brand that has three pillars, three core pillars, and then two posting formats, which is carousel and video. So if not done that, you're wrong, you're disobedient, and God is watching you. God is watching you, right? So let me go straight to the class today. This is I don't this okay. Right. So, like I said, we're talking about writing. We're talking about writing across platforms, not just social media today. Because I noticed that a lot of you are complaining that, oh, I'm just talking about social media. Oh, I'm talking about this content. Today, we're going to talk about website, how to write on website, the different writing format for website, for blog posts, and for social media content. I'm also going to be teaching you or telling you how to sort of grammar, how to put your text in a more structured ways because in a more structured way, because the truth is no matter what you do, right? If your words, if your English, if your grammar is not well punctuated, you're not going to look like the expert that you want to look like. You're not going to look like someone who is confident and someone who knows what you're doing. So you have to pin that. And lastly, I'm going to be talking about storytelling techniques using some of your favorite content creators or your favorite influencers as an example. So it's more practical and then we learn together, right? So let's go into it. So, sorry. Yeah. Not all writing is created equal, right? So like I said, this this teaching is I'm first going to teach you about how to write for different platforms, and we're going to start from blog posts. So the intro is basically saying that not all writing is equal. So every every script you see, every content, everything that is written online or published online has a purpose. And so I also mentioned in our last class that every platform has a different strategy. The way I write on websites is not the same way I write on social media posts. It's not the same way I'm going to write on all social media posts. Actually, like everything has a different strategy. So what I mean to say is not all writing are the same. The same way you're writing a book will not be the same way you write. It's not the same way you're going to, or the way you're writing a blog post won't be the same way you're writing a social media post, because a blog post has more in depth, it's more educational, it's more inspirational, it's more lengthy than a social media content, because we all know that social media, every single one of us struggle with attention. So you have to make your content very short, very simple, relatable, no so much ambiguity. People is lucid and people are able to understand what you're saying, right? So I'm just going to show you the different writing tones for first blog post. So I'm starting with blog post. So like I mentioned, to write a blog post here is very conversational but informed. um if I'm sure a bunch of you would, I mean, everybody here reads blog posts. I mean, is there anybody here that doesn't read blog posts? I know for me, aside from reading, so I have this thing where every day I try as much as possible to read blog posts that pertains to my industry, and I think most of you should catch it as well. So I read a lot on HubSpot, I read a lot on Content Marketing Institute, SM Rush, because these guys, they have a lot of, they're people who they're like the first place to go whenever there's a new trend, whenever they say it's a new algorithm happening on social media, because you need to be in line with all of these conversations, right? You need to put your industry in your face. You always have to be updated. If not, you're going to be outdated. So you always have to read these things, right? So what I'm trying to say is I always read articles. If a simple thing like even Zikoko, if any of you guys know Zikoko, if you check out their blog, even Pinvest, they have like an interesting blog where they write a lot of interesting stuff. So what that means is if you check every blog post that you read or that you relate to. So blog posts, you can find blog posts mostly on websites. So blog post is mostly a website thing because a lot of people spend time on the website. So people just say, okay, you know what, if you're on my website, then why don't I just, just read what we have for you, read something that will give you value and then cause you to take action, like I thought in the last class, right? So blog post has to be very conversational, but yet informed. So it's a conversation. It has depth. It's not just a call to action thing. You have to give me depth. You have to give me insight. So that's the tone of a blog post, and yet it's very informed. The idea of blog post is if I'm coming to your blog post, I'm going to get more knowledge than I'm getting from your social media, right? So that's why people are always writing lengthy. You see characters on blog posts, you see all of those things, you see headers, you see different things that make a blog post interesting because people want people who are writing, that's content writers or copywriters, want people to spend time on their blogs for them to be able to find this insightful, right? So the style for blog posts is very in-depth, like I mentioned. Blog posts are, in fact, if you're scrolling, it's like if you want to read a story, you're not here for, it's not a, sometimes some blog posts are not like 1 minute, I know 1 minute, 2 minutes. Some of the blog posts I read are like 11 minutes, and I don't read everything at once, honestly. I just go through it small and then I come back, right? So blog post is in depth. They are always in depth, and then they're structured. So there's a way your topic will come. The way even the fonts, right? I'm sure if you use Google Doc, you see that for Google Doc there's like heading 1, heading 2. There's normal text. There's body. There's different segmentation. All of this is mostly used for a blog post because blog posts have to be very structured. You can't put the title of a blog post in a very small font. Then that is catching me to stay. There's nothing. So if you want to teach me 5 ways to style my hair, right? And then the 5 ways to style my hair is in a small font. It's not it can't be that way, right? So it has to be there that bam, 5 ways to style your hair. And I'm like, oh, this is what I'm going to get when I read this blog post. And then I start reading it, right? So an example, definitely, I mentioned HubSpot because I mean, if you're into content writing, let me tell you the truth. If you're, in fact, a lot of people say that they don't have money to pay for courses, which is very valid. I'm not even going to lie to you. If you want to take courses from Coursera, all of those places are expensive. But trust me, right? If you want to get free stuff, in fact, if you want to get the basic knowledge on anything content writing, sorry, again, on anything content marketing, social media management, inbound marketing, anything marketing, content marketing, social media marketing, inbound marketing, digital marketing, anything marketing. I'm not sure copywriting. I'm not sure they teach copywriting, but I'm very sure when you take a content right when you take a content marketing course, they'll definitely cover copywriting because I took the course and that was one of the places I started learning how to write, right? So the second one is the second one. Second slide, please. Great, thank you so much. So definitely social media post. So I mean the tone for social media posts, like I mentioned, is relatable, punchy. So when I mean punchy, it needs to have a hook. There has to be something that will grab people's attention. That's what social media is, right? So social media has to be punchy and sometimes it has to be emotional. The truth is, the way you're going to know the direction of what your writing should look like is when you know what you're writing for. Now, I always emphasize this because it's just the truth. If you don't know the goal that your writing is going to achieve, then there's going to be a little bit of confusion here and there. So, for example, if I want to do a community post, I know that I have to come from, I have to ensure that every word that I put out there has to evoke emotion. I want you to feel empathy for me. Do you understand? So, if I'm writing a community post, I'm talking, and okay, for example, if I'm writing a community post, my goal is to build a community after I've already created like different pillars for my brand and I sell hair, for example. My community post will look like maybe me on a storytelling content or a video content where I talk about how when I was 5 years old, I went to a boarding school, or not even boarding school. I was with my parents, and we were in an area where we never just found an hairdresser to make hair. So I always had to go and look up for like 10, like all through my teenage years. I had to go and look at your goal is the indicator of where you want to go. So like I said, I want to do a community post. I'm an hair vendor. A community post is where you want people to sort of draw into your story. You're telling people your why. You're inspiring people. You're evoking some kind of emotion from people. So I'm doing that by sharing a vulnerable story. Now, sharing my vulnerable story is for you to feel empathy for me. I want you to feel like, oh, more, and it's true. I can relate to this. I know what it means to like be in an area where you don't have an hair vendor, where nobody can make hair. So those were one of your reasons why you started making hair, or that's one of the reasons why you started selling hair. People who have that experiences, people who can relate to that, it is so easy for you to sell to them because they already understand your why, and you sort of created an emotional connection. I don't know if people are getting me, but you have to get it because this is so essential, right? So, right, the way writing works, in fact, I think the way life works is, I think it's a general life principle, honestly. Once you know what you want, you're able to go after it. And it's an essential life skill. And luckily, it applies here as well. It applies to social media, it applies to writing. If you're writing, you need to know what you want your audience to feel. That way, it guides you. There are words that you pick. There's a tone there's a way you will just flow like a fish in a river when you understand exactly what your goal is. Yeah. So definitely for social media, the style or the tone for writing for social media is of course short paragraphs. Short paragraphs. Now, I won't lie to you that every audience, every like audiences are different. Now you can check some people's pages and you see them write lengthy. You see their caption and they're like, "Who is reading this thing?" People are reading it, my dear. Now, sometimes the simple example with Tomike, I don't know if you guys follow Olori Ebi Tomike on Instagram. When I see a lengthy caption, I'll just sit and I'm like, who is going to read this thing? Check the comment section, my dear. People are there. People are replying to every single word that she said and the one that she did not say. What does that mean? The simple hack is when you understand who your target audience is, you will do what works best for you. That's all I'm trying to say. The general principle on social media is, of course, short paragraphs work because I mean you can't compare the data because I mean data shows that people are more drawn to short paragraphs and lengthy paragraphs. So it works. But I'm saying that if you have an audience that relates to long captions, you should go for it, please. And then of course on social media you use emojis, you use hashtags. Now I mean hashtags on social media platforms like Instagram, I mean, you can't compare hashtags to how it was like 4 years ago or 5 years ago. Hashtag was the thing then when I just started Instagram. But right now, hashtags are not might not be it won't be as much. You know, like you won't people don't use a lot of hashtag for visibility right now. But I think my strategy for Instagram, especially when it comes to hashtag, is some people will not be able to get your brand name when like people will not, so there's still majority of people who are still searching for, so like I said, if I'm making hair, there's still people who don't know me but they're looking for hair in Lagos, like hair vendors in Lagos. And when I use hashtag that are related to my niche and what I want to be known for, people will find me. So that's just the way hashtag works. They might not it might, for especially for Instagram, because Instagram might not be hashtag on Instagram might not be 100 like it was back in the day, but trust me, it still works. It still works. It might not give you as much visibility as video reels or dancing or jumping on trends and doing carousel posts or all of that. But trust me, somehow it always works, especially for people who are using keyword research to search for your service or search for your brand, right? So an example would definitely be Nike's Instagram caption. I don't know if you guys know Nike. So some people call it Nike, some people call it Nike. Some people call it Nike, some people call it Nike. If you're in Nigeria, some people call it Nike. But I'm talking about the shoe brand all the way. Now, if you know the shoe brand on Instagram, in fact, they are one of yeah, they are they have this thing that really inspires me. First of all, they have so many campaigns that are really inspirational. Especially the one I love more is where they sort of invite celebrities. So they had this thing where they invited Megan Thee Stallion. I don't know if you guys know Megan Thee Stallion, but yo, if you don't know Megan Thee Stallion, well, it's not a bad thing if you don't know her because I'm not really a fan. But I mean, these things you have to learn it. If you don't like someone, doesn't mean you should not learn what is working for them. Because trust me, results don't know anybody else. Results work. So if something is working for someone, you need to find out what exactly it is so you can implement it for yourself. That's what I'm trying to say. So I was talking about Nike, where they do this thing where they sort of invite celebrities to sort of share their stories using their merch. That way, the celebrity connects to their audience. Their audience feel a sort of more personalized experience. Nike is getting the money. Mega Thee Stallion, who is the celebrity, gets their money as well. I'm just trying to show you the different campaigns where Nike just sort of uses a way to they use, of course, because it's Nike and their motto is just do it. Everybody just knows that just do it. So it's of course motivation. If you check all their content on Instagram, yes, they're motivating you to do something, right? And then the idea of bringing an influencer is storytelling because the influencer is coming in, sharing their story, you know, how they use Nike this thing to do this, to get their body or that, and why you should jump on the trend. So what I'm just trying to say is short paragraph works exactly like I said, especially when you know the person, especially when you understand your target audience. And I'm using Nike as an example of their I'm using Nike as an example of their Instagram captions. Right, please. I can't find the yeah. Thank you, fantastic. Just let me see it. Yeah, thank you. So now I'm talking about TV scripts and ads. Now, the reason why implemented TV scripts here is because we all watch ads, like every single person here. You go online and then you see this new interesting ad by MTN, or you see this new interesting ad by um by Airtel or Burger King, Chicken Republic, every single thing, there is a script. Like I mentioned earlier, there's a group of people, or if not one person, who is writing every single thing down to what the tone should look like, the people that are coming on set, the clothes they are wearing, the type of makeup, their welfare, the words they are saying, every single thing. Now, so for writing TV scripts and ads, the tone is highly emotional or humorous. So depending on what you want to do, there's this ad by Minimi where there's this Lai Wasabi and Basket Mouth. I don't know if you guys watched it, but when you watch it, I mean, when you see someone like Lai Wasabi there, you're like, oh, this is going to be a very funny ad. You see Lie Wasabi, you see basket mount. Of course, it's going to be funny. Now, I'm not sure I watched the end of that ad, but I hope you get what I'm trying to say. Now, I didn't have to watch the ad from beginning to end, but just the people who they selected, to be the face of that ad, I'm able to know that, oh my God, this is going to be very, very funny. And I think it was funny now that I think about it. So what that means is, like I mentioned, when you first understand what you want to do with your ad, when you understand this is the goal, I want this thing that I'm putting out on social media or on the internet to achieve, it sort of guides you all the way through, right? So like I said, for TV ads is either highly emotional, like what Nike does, or very humorous, like mini ad, if you guys have seen it. So like I said, depending on the audience. Secondly, we're talking about the style. So for TV ads, it's either short dialogues or human behavior driven. Okay, let me just talk a bit about this. So when you talk about short dialogues, right? Like the mini ad is of course a very, very short dialogue. It's just sometimes people don't even have to talk. Just their expressions alone, or I mean, you watch these things that even Coca-Cola, for example, like Coca-Cola is a typical, very interesting ad, like right? You see a Coca-Cola campaign, they're not even talking. Or maybe they are talking, but they're either chattering or happiness. You see the emotion where it's family, it's bond, they're bringing people together. There's happiness, there's family, there's love, especially when they capture things like maybe when it's during Ramadan or Christmas. You see the spirit of family. They don't have to talk too much. You already get the message that Coca-Cola is here to share happiness. Coca-Cola is here to make you feel good, right? So the style for TV scripts is mostly short dialogues, human behavior driven scenes. Human behavior driven scenes. You cannot do human driven scenes if you don't understand your target audience. So please understand your target audience. Like I will always say, it is super important. And trust me, it's not hard. It's not hard. Yes, it will take time. It will definitely take time. Like I said from the beginning, and I'll always say this, guys, like this our work is testing. Even people who are up there, people who are campaign managers for industries like oil and gas, banking, tech, name the industry where there's blood money right now, is testing. You have to test. You need to test. Like you cannot be afraid of failing because it's that's just the work. You cannot be afraid of failing. Like you always have to test things. So what I mean to say is you won't just know what your audience psychology or what their behavioral pattern is or their consumer pattern in a day. You have to try. You have to you do interviews. You will research. You ask your typical target audience questions, you do interviews, you do surveys, you do data analysis. Like you need all of this data to come to a concrete conclusion. And it doesn't stop there because human behavior is ever evolving. But then we're still very, very predictable because we're humans, right? I hope you get that message. So an example is Apple commercials. Now, oh my God, Apple is when I'm talking about campaigns. So brands that I always mention when I talk about campaign, Coca-Cola has great campaign. Apple as well. You need to check out these brands because then you see what's possible. You see what's possible even from where you are in your room right now. You see what is possible. You see what you can implement in your own space, in your own time, which is now, right? So when you check Apple commercials, you see the mini stories. See, Apple is a brand that you don't have to shout. See, I mean, we all know this. The constant argument between, oh, is Apple better than Android? Every person who I know that is like, I used to say they can never use iPhone. Today, 90% of them are using iPhone. 90% of them are using iPhone. Guess why? Because Apple doesn't need brag, doesn't need to shout. There are people, it's not people that are poisoning themselves to buy iPhone in this Lagos, this Nigeria. Sorry, but you get my point, right? So all of these things didn't just start. If you listen to Steve Jobs' story even before he died, you see where Apple started and where they are right now. And so you would see that it takes a lot of intentional positioning. It takes a lot of I'm looking for the right word so it doesn't scare people, but you need to put in a lot of time to sort of understand what your audience behavior is, so you're able to create commercials or campaigns that resonate with them. Right, thank you. This, can I have the third slide? Right, thank you. So now we're going to website. We're talking about writing on the website, the tone and the style of website. Now personally, I'm someone that when I see so many words that are chunked up and a particular website is looking all chunky, I just zone out. I'm like, what's all this? When there's too much in your face, you're like, what's going on? Like you don't even know how to navigate, you don't even know what to do, right? So a great website doesn't shout for attention at all. Like a great website is not about the font or colors. Right? Great website for me is more about user experience. If it's easy for me to use, if I'm able to see, oh, I want to buy a dress, this is where I should go to, blah blah blah. I'm able to do this, do that in the next how many seconds. That's what a great website means to me, right? So a great website doesn't shout for attention. It's clear. A great website is clear. It's confident. It has a lot of care. Now it doesn't take. It's not random that some websites are well. Like you can check out Paystack. I think Paystack or Flutterwave. If you check their website, I think it's user friendly, very easy, very not too much of thought or thought. Just go straight to the point. Very very easy, right? So this is how a website should be, right? A website should be clear, it should be trustworthy and aspirational. Now, when you check a lot of products, maybe like Apple, if you check Apple website, for example, if you want to buy. So I will tell you because I used to go to their website, I'll just go to most cinemas to just see what their user experience is. And then you go to Apple. I don't think they are more, I think it's mostly white. And you just see their phones, the picture quality, the way the picture just sort of does dances, and then you're like, you said you be feeling like, wow, I'm in luxury. Like if I just get money, I will buy this thing. That's how it's meant to look like. You're not doing too much. Do you understand? But from every and you would sort of sometimes you can come to a place where you sort of undermine the effort that has been put to that. But it takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of work to sort of decide that you're just picking this, and this has to be clear. You're selecting the color contrast that will work for a particular website, how a user should feel. To predict how someone is feeling is not easy, you guys. Like to predict, oh, this is how I want you to feel when you come to my website. I want it to be aspirational, where you sort of put this where you put product that immediately I see the product, I'm imagining myself wearing it. You're not taking picture like somebody who is in Bariga or somebody who is in what they call Kirikiri, not Kirikiri. There's a place they sell, a place they under the train. No, you're not taking picture like someone who sells clothes in here, but you're taking picture like someone who is a world class. That's it, like period. You're taking and that's why product pictures and product shoots are so important because they cannot be random. Your brand has to be in a way you need to position your brand where either your product or your service, your positioning is it's in a way where I just sit, I'm like, no, I might not get the money now, but once I get the money, I will come and rate you because you sort of made me picture myself with it. I can see how your product fits into my life, right? So, like I mentioned, a website, the tone is clear, it is very trustworthy and inspirational. Then the style is direct headlines. Direct, guys. I mean, we all know this. Look at the website that you always interact with. Yeah, there's no, and that's why I really hate, honestly, I really hate like when I'm scrolling, when I'm just checking out sites on sometimes, and I click on one site, they're taking me to Best Nigeria, they're taking me to there's a name they call this thing cyber. Like it makes me mad. Like I come on your blog, right? I come on your blog and I want to click something and take me to another person and that like it doesn't make sense to me. And all of these things contribute to user experience, whether you like it or not, because people always remember how you made them feel. People always remember, trust me. It's every person in your life right now, you've associated them with something, good or bad. And how they have that thing in your head is basically based on your experience with them, right? So you need to make sure that your website is direct, your headlines are direct, so direct headlines. So if you're selling shoes, your headline is maybe I'm looking for a copy, a mad copy that I can give you guys right now. So if you're selling, okay, maybe like a hair, and I'm like, maybe I don't want to say the one that's coming to my head, which is like luxury article, like the normal random one. But I'm saying that you need to come up with copies that I'm seeing your copy, I'm seeing your headline, like this people, they sabi, they know what they are doing, right? So and your headlines, of course, the style for website has to be CTA focused. Now we all remember what CTA is. CTA is basically a call to action. That's what CTA is. It's very simple. Don't let anybody Google you. It's very simple. It's not hard at all. So an example is Shopify. I've not been someone who really interacts with Shopify until recently because my company used Shopify. And Shopify homepage sort of speaks to entrepreneurs like with people with clarity and bold ambition, right? Like you will know it's very mad because Shopify is a place where, of course, entrepreneurs, business owners come put out their product. It's basically an e-commerce marketplace. They understand their audience, and so their headline, their style of writing is, of course, inspirational because they know our business owners. Especially if you're in this Nigeria, if you're in this Lagos, if you're in Nigeria, you need a lot of So again, guys, again, understanding your audience is super key, right? So please, the next slide, right? Yeah, thank you so much. So we're going to be talking about the second part of the class. I'm going to be I'm going to be walking you through grammar and punctuation. Um, I don't think anybody here would like to read a love letter from your boyfriend or for your girlfriend and it's just all clunky. I don't think you like it. Especially when you're someone who, I mean, if you're someone who don't pay particular attention to these things, you might not necessarily see that as a bad thing. But if you're someone if you want to be a copywriter, you have to be very particular about these things. I will not mean to write to you. In fact, I find it particularly interesting when people, even on their WhatsApp chat, they put comma, they put full stop. Like it makes me know that like you're really serious about how I perceive you. You're really serious about how you want this message to be passed across. It means you're an intentional person. It means, I mean, for me, it means you are an intentional person because from a basic simple WhatsApp chat that people take for granted, people are saying stop. How are you? The pussy. I'm sorry, this is your table. Don't feel attacked. Just do better. We're all learning, yeah. When people say stop, people say what's up, you? I mean, people use all sort of English. Now abbreviation is not bad though. Me, I use abbreviation, I use law, I use SME, and that's what I'm saying. I'm saying there's some English that people, especially when texting, is just wrong. And particularly, I'm the type of person that when you put your English together, it means that you calm down, you calmed down, you thought through this. It wasn't you didn't just wake up your van and then just take this babe. No, you calm down, then you put your question mark where you want to ask the question, you put your full stop, you put your comma, you put your apostrophe. It looks good for me, and I don't know if it's good for you too. That means we're on the same WhatsApp group, and then we're friends, right? So this is just me. This is just me saying that punctuation and grammar, they're like incredible heroes. I'm not even going to lie to you because imagine, especially if you're not reading a blog post or reading something on social media, and then everything is just you don't even know where to stop reading. You don't even know which one is full stop. You don't even know where to even pause. You don't even know where to even exclamation, you're not seeing anything. Everything is just there. If you're Again, let me just say this, by the way. If you're writing, a writer here, if you're honestly, you don't even need to. I always say you don't have to write on a website or blog post to be a writer. If you're someone who's interested in storytelling and putting out content, I'm not talking about writer, because if you're a writer, you're a writer. Do you understand? You need to have eye for detail, guys. Like, look at my eye. This guy have eye for detail. Like, it's crucial, because these are the things that people take for granted. But you can't take it for granted, because it's your job that's on your line. That it's your job that's on the line, right? So what does grammar do? Grammar doesn't make your writing great. Bad grammar ruins great writing. And I kept this here to just say that big grammar doesn't make your writing great, but bad grammar. Now, the only person who has made bad grammar look good to me is Jennifer. She's the only person. Jennifer and Faust, the only two people that have made bad English look very nice to me. And I'm like, I like it though. Sometimes I will try to like infuse it to my own lingo. I'm like, I see you. I'll be like, there's a way you sort of infuse this Jennifer's lingo to your. They're the only two people who have made speaking bad English look good. But if you're speaking bad English, especially if you're writing bad English and you're a content writer, please get yourself back up, guys. Like, read. But we'll get to that. So, good grammar is your invisible tool for clarity, for authority, and professionalism. Now, like I said, these things people look over at it, because again, everything is on social media right now. If you send me a WhatsApp message and your chat is all clunky, no, I won't see you at, especially maybe it's not a professional level. If we're friends, it's different. If you're writing in an emergency, it's different. If you're writing because you are in a rush, or that's different. But if we don't know ourselves and your typing is no, I'll just be like, okay. Right? So, quick rules that matter. Now, use Grammarly. See, AI, I always say this in my class. Even yesterday, there's so much during the weekend, there's so much I use AI to do. There's so much I use AI to do. Now you can use Grammarly. Grammarly is an AI tool that helps your writing. In fact, it can make you sound confident, like when you write, when you finish writing, write everything that you want to write. It helps correct your grammar. It helps you put punctuation where punctuation is supposed to be. Helps you put full stop. Helps you structure your writing in a way that is presentable and sounds the way you want it to sound. So do not feel shy or incompetent to use Grammarly, because we are humans and we're going to have oversights. But you, my dear, you can use AI for yourself, right? So an example can be like, we invited the CEOs and investors and clients, and then some people are like, not CEOs, not investors, not clients. Like, there's a way you position your English that it will be easy for someone to understand. Sometimes all the confusion that we're saying, some people don't like typing, is because the people that are texting you are giving you, they are texting in bad English. They don't let me not talk. Please, the next slide. Please, next slide. Give me a minute. So you can use Grammarly. Please use Grammarly for clarity. Use Grammarly for clarity. It works all the time, and it works on. You don't even have to. It's not an app. I think if you download it on the phone, it's an app. Yes, actually, it's an app on the phone. But I basically use it on my laptop. So you can go on the website, sign up, and then it works on your Google Doc. It just the way it just appears. It works on Google Doc. It works when you're sending an email. It works if you're actively working online. In fact, even autocorrect works as well. I mean, if you have autocorrect, everybody has autocorrect on their phone. So before you send that message, look at it thoroughly. Does it align with my personal brand? Does it align with the person that I want to be? Do you understand? Is it good? Is it good? So these things, please try as much as possible to utilize AI. Hi, tech team. Please, could you help me with the next slide? So guys, okay, while we're waiting for that, should I check the comments? Let me see if you guys have any questions. If the questions, yes, Grammarly for okay, Grammarly keyboard for Android. Yeah, it works all the time, guys. It works all the time. It works all the time. People that even come in someone people that even come in someone this people are talking about. This is your English now. Is it right? Lucy, this is your English. Is it right? People that even come in someone into your DM with proper introduction are annoying. That your English now is not correct. Use Grammarly. Use Grammarly, guys. So which other comment am I seeing? I mean, let me just check back to see. Okay, fantastic. Slide has been back up. So, a practical tip for you would be before you publish anything, read it out loud. Listen to yourself. Like I said, like listen to your read, check what you're reading, and then you're like, if I'm saying them to someone, I'm just reading, does it make sense? Does it align with the person I want to be in my future? If my future see me with this English, with this thing I'm saying to somebody, my future like it. It's so important. And this thing I do as well, guys. Let me give you this tip. And this thing where I do where when my thoughts are so I mean we are all humans, like I said, no one has it all figured out. There's time when all my thoughts are clunky and I just want to dump my thoughts somewhere and then I want to send it to someone, especially if you're in a corporate space. You need to know how to organize your words, you need to know how to select your words wisely. And trust me, if you're feeling angry or you're feeling some type of way in the workspace and you want to communicate to someone, you might not always be in the right frame of mind, or your words will not, your words, there's a way your word will come out. What I'm trying to say is you can even use AI to redefine your tone. You can copy all your, let's say someone slapped me at the office now, I want to send it to HR. Instead of me saying, this bastard just come here and just come and slap me in the office, so or be like anybody, you want to change it for them. Right or your on like on the I'm not Yoruba, I'm sorry, but I don't know why I can't pronounce it here. I can say it normally. I don't know. Anyway, you say one be like anybody, daddy money, wait. Although if you want to carry your cultist behavior to work with, write everything. Write everything. I'm just gonna copy it in there. I tell AI to redefine it in a professional tone. And a tone that is very professional, corporate. It has a corporate tone, and it makes you seem like someone who is very thoughtful. So when your HR sees it, when AI redefine all those rubbish that you've written, it will definitely not be the same. It can say, if you say bastard, it can change it to another thing, which it will fit the professional context. Do you understand? So what I'm trying to say is that even if you don't have grammar, when you finish writing, copy it to ChatGPT or DeepSeek. Ask DeepSeek or ChatGPT that. Redefine this in a professional, warm tone that sounds like me. And who is me? Me is someone who is warm. I want someone who is who seems like a thought leader, who is professional, someone who is thorough, right? I just want to be shouting or saying things anyhow. I want to be like someone who is put together. So ChatGPT will help you, right? So that works. That works all the time. I do it all the time, especially for you can even use it for your emails, you can use it for anything, guys. Like ChatGPT, like embrace AI, leave suffering for those are suffering, embrace AI. So again, another one can be watch subject verb agreement. A typical example can be the team is ready. So instead of saying the team is ready, is it makes sense. But some people will say the team are ready because a team is a bunch of people, right? And then if you're talking, if you learn, I mean, we all learned noun, plural, adjective, verb. I mean, we all learned it. Even though some of us have forgotten, but we all learned it. Our parents did not fail us. Right. So you need to be able to watch subject verb agreement. It is super important, guys. Apostrophe. Hmm. Apostrophe. Pin that. Like apostrophe shows ownership. Like it doesn't show contradiction. It's super important. And this thing when people say they say they want to say I am They won't say I am, they'll say am. Or they want to say I am, they'll say am. I don't know if you like I am is I and am, or some people say am. That's I apostrophe. So these things, guys, if they happen, you can make errors, but please use AI, use Grammarly, use ChatGPT to please put your thoughts together. We are not coming out here to look like clowns. We are professionals, we are thought leaders, or people who know what we're here to do. So we have to show up that way, right? So embrace AI, guys. It's very easy to make mistakes. But when you use AI, you read these things aloud as well. Like I go through my chat and then I just read, I'll just read what I'm about to say and I'm like, okay, let me just calm down. I'll send this when I'm in a better headspace. Or check this out. Does this because again it's all of this bad error that will make someone to misinterpret what you're trying to say, and we don't want that, do we? No. So right, the last one is, I mean, my favorite tip. My tip here would definitely be that if you want to write, we're talking about writing tone here, how to write. We're talking about writing style. We're talking about tones, knowing how to write for social media, website, blog posts, even TV ads. You need to write. You're not going to get your first gig when you start writing. It doesn't work that way because we all know that we are battling with bad English. You're listening that you write now, there'll be a lot of grammatical errors, right? But when you constantly write, you'll always be a better writer. When you write and you read, uh something that reading does for your to your mind. In fact, I remember I watched the entire Vampire Diaries from season 1 to 9 or so. I can't remember. I watched Vampire Diaries because Vampire Diaries, every time I watch Vampire Diaries, I always learned a new word. I always learned a new word. In fact, I had a book where every time watching Vampire Diaries, I particularly liked Stefan. Stefan was your guy. Hi, I like Stefan. So whenever I hated Elena, I'm sorry. I just that will be another topic for another day. But yeah, the truth is, every time I watch those series, I always had a book with me. I always because the book always taught me new English. It's the same thing when you start reading. When you read, you see how people structure their English. You know how to express yourself when you're exclamating, when you want to keep yourself in a structured way. You know how to when you know you know how to highlight a statement when you want to highlight it. You know how to put your thoughts together in a way that has a simple flow because that's what writing is about. You can't write Akin is here. They went to Akin is here. You now wrote right, they went to ShopRite here. You now say they're going to Badagry tomorrow. Your thoughts cannot be it cannot be east, west, and it has to follow a pattern. That way, your reader would love reading your article, would love there's a flow to these things, right? So don't take it for granted. Read a lot, write a lot. In fact, I had this challenge. I have this challenge where, and I always say that I challenge myself, guys, because there are people that I have around me that just always pushes me to want to do more. I have someone who is also a mentor who tells me to write, like write how your day is, like write how your day was. As simple as that. Like you're not writing, you're writing your thoughts. You're writing how you think. If you don't give your thoughts expression, you can't be a writer. You can't like you have to be expressive. You need to give your thoughts that voice. That's what writing is about. Writing is giving a voice. You're not just saying it. But writing gives an expression. So you need to be able to know how to write. Write your thoughts. That's the first thing. If you don't know what to write, if you want to write a book, you know where to start from. Start by writing your thoughts, my dear. Write how your day was, how your day went. You know, write about, describe what happiness means to you. Describe your thoughts. How you describe yourself. What would a thoughtful gift look like to you? What's your favorite color? How do you feel when you eat a certain type of food? How do you feel when there's someone around you? How do you feel when you go to certain places? Write your thoughts. Like on a daily, when you write, the frequency might not be on a daily if you're just starting. So just start by writing your thoughts. Carry a journal if journaling works for you, which journaling is the best. And when I mean generally, I mean writing in book and paper is honestly the best, and writing on phone and all of that, because we all get distracted, right? But you can only be a great writer if you write. You won't be a great writer in your head, right? Please, can we have the second slide? Great, fantastic. So the third, this is the third topic this is the third subtopic for tonight, and which is storytelling techniques that created impact, that create impact. Please, 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 please don't take what I said as a joke. Like, always write down your thoughts. It will really help you. It will help you to even clarify your speaking. All this that we say that we are saying is because we've not thoroughly sat down to really analyze our thoughts before we started having that conversation. When you understand how to analyze your thoughts, you know that what fillers not it will be frequent as someone who doesn't analyze their thoughts, who just speaks anyhow. Someone who has pre-recorded, like someone who has sat down to break down their thoughts, will definitely have better expression than someone who has not. So you have to be someone who writes on a daily if you want to be a writer. Right. So storytelling techniques that create impact. And I'm going to be walking you through storytelling techniques. And this is really interesting to me because I get to talk about creators that I love. Like these creators, I handpicked them from different sectors. So we're going to get to that. We're going to have a lot of fun. So first of all, we're going to be talking about one story technique, which is the hero story. Now, I mentioned this on the second class, I think on Wednesday, where I mentioned that you need to understand that everything that you do, especially on this internet, is not for you. Especially if you're targeting an audience, if you're someone who you're looking out to reach people, it's not a you thing. In fact, right now, this slide is not about me. This slide is really about you. Everything that I'm here teaching is because it is you. Like I'm not talking about myself. I'm not talking about when I'm born. Who knows me, who doesn't. I'm not talking about any personal story. What I'm here is to give you what you need to become a better copywriter, to become a better content writer, or a better content marketer. And that's because that's just how storytelling works. Storytelling, your audience has to be the hero of the story. Like if you're not getting value here, you won't be here, my guy. Like if you're not here getting value, you won't be here. If all I do is talk about myself, talk about my experience, talk about blah, 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 everything that's been happening to me since I started working professionally, or blah 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 blah, things that are not relevant, things that you cannot relate with, things that don't matter to you, you will not be here. So basically, the structure of the hero story is basically set up struggle and triumph, right? And people who use this is like ads. I mentioned this before. I will give you a typical example of what that looks like. Um, you see this thing where people say things like, look for a good ad that can give you an example. Even though Nike ads is a very good example, but I want to really demonstrate what setup, struggle, and triumph looks like. What that looks like in like layman lingo is basically where you set up you set up your target audience problem. You're like, some people are struggling with hair loss. You're like, don't are struggling with hair loss because some people who are wearing wigs, most of them they're struggling with hair loss. Not me though, not me, not me. But even if I am, I will not tell you. Abi, do you know? No. That's one of the values that wearing wig will give you, right? I'm setting up and see that's a pain point for me who is a consumer. I'm like, come on, I get bored and my head they come out, right? I'm like, when I say wearing wig is the best this thing. I've set up, in fact, I've created a setup where I'm saying that you, I'm an hair vendor, right? That's the setup number one. The struggle is your struggle. You get hair loss, but through my wig, people no go see your hair loss. Through my wig, if you're covering your hair all the time with my wig, especially if you now say, your wig has come with treatment that will help you with your hair loss, guy, don't you buy? You that have hair loss, don't you buy? You will buy. You will definitely buy. So let's go on a short break, guys. And we're gonna be back. So go and drink water. We're coming back, right? Hi guys, so we're back from the break. I'll just have it back. All right. So let's get back to it. We're talking about different storytelling techniques, and I was talking about the hero story. Um, so basically, I was giving an example of what the setup struggle, the triumph will look like in a more relatable way, aside from mentioning Nike ads or Disney, because I mean, we're all Nigerians. Or maybe we're all not Nigerians, but I mean, some of us will relate to this example that I'm about to give more. So, the example where I'm saying that me, right? I'm saying you guys should come more. I'm selling hair, I'm a hair vendor. And then I'm like, I sell quality hairs. And this particular hair is for people who struggle with hair loss. People that in the middle of their hair, they wake up and then they wake up, they don't see any hair there. This wig that I'm selling will help. In fact, it comes with premeditated treatment to help you regain your hair loss, right? This wig will not automatically transform your face feature. It will also help your hair grow. The hair that did not come from your mother's womb will grow in 10 days, in 5 days. I've set up myself as a hair vendor. I've highlighted what your struggle is. And I'm saying that at the end of that 11 days, if your hair does not grow, come and collect your money back from me. Come and collect your hair back from me. Come and collect your money back from me. That's my idea. That's the hero story. And everything that I've done is to highlight your struggle, right? And tell you how my product, my solution will help your life become better. Will move you from point A to point B. Will move you from hairless or bald head to, first of all, you're wearing a very fine wig. And then in 10 days, we're going to see results. I'm just being dramatic about it because I'm being dramatic with the voice because that's how Igbo people, is it Igbo people or Yoruba? I think it's mostly Igbo people. That especially Igbo men, when you go to Yaba, and then you hear them speak. But I hope you understand that, right? So there, I'm saying you set up, like you're setting up yourself as this is the problem that I want to solve. This is your struggle, and this is how you're going to get better with my own product. Only my own product, too. Now, what makes me different from a hair vendor is your problem is hair loss. But I'm saying I'm not just giving you hair to hide it. I'm giving you hair that inside that wig. I'm giving you hair that inside that wig. It will give you hair in next 10 days. It comes with premedicated coils. Haba kinikon that will help you. They can 306 all those haba this thing that when you put on your hair like this, sister, in 10 days. Sister, in 10 days, your hair will rise up from the dead like Jesus. You understand? So buy my hair. Right. So the second storytelling technique that we can use here is before after bridge. Now, honestly, all storytelling techniques sort of they are not all they are not what's the word? Someone should help me with the word. They are not mutually exclusive. Exactly, that's the word. They are not mutually exclusive. All you need to know is what works for your audience, like I always say, because you can try a storytelling techniques and your audience don't even understand. They're like, what is this one saying? So for example, if I'm selling to someone, if I'm saying I'm a hair vendor and I'm in the faces of I am selling hair in a maybe I'm selling hair in the airport. That's a wrong place because people don't buy hair in the airport. I mean, if you check data, most people don't. I mean, people already think about what they're going to wear, plan their trip before they get to the airport. So, airport is not really a strategic place to position yourself as a hair vendor. I mean, from what I see, that's based on data, right? But if I'm not saying that, oh, this is my storytelling technique that I'm giving you that I'll revamp your hair that did not come from your mother's womb in 11 days, and I'm selling it in the airport. What do you think the conversion rate would be? Than someone who I'm in the face, I'm partnering with people who have hair salons, that people that come to make their hair there. my shop is not my shop is not far from there. I'm just close to them, and I'm reaching out to them like, madam, I get this hair, we go help you. The tone is just very dramatic, guys. So what I'm trying to say in summary is that every storytelling technique is not mutually exclusive. They all sort of seem alike. There's always a meeting factor. They're not like this. They're like this. It's a bridge. It's not far apart, right? And what this also means is there's not a one size fits all. You need to find out what works for your audience and give it to them. That's just the truth. That's just the truth. Nobody will tell you this, but that's just true. I'm not going to tell you this is what works. You need to find what works for your audience, and you have to make it work for them, right? So basically, I was trying to talk about what the before after bridge storytelling technique is. So this is where you show where the customer is now, where they could be, and how you get them there. So it's also similar with the first one. It's also similar with the first one. Now, this storytelling, this type of technique works with fitness brand. In fact, lifestyle brand, they are milking pockets on Instagram because, like I mentioned earlier, Instagram is for visual, it's for aesthetics. People that are there, people on Instagram, they are aesthetics people, right? People who are milking this type of storytelling techniques are fitness brand, maybe jewelries, perfumes. For you to sell lifestyle products, you need to sell the lifestyle. The lifestyle course, like you have to sell the lifestyle, guys. Like that's why it's so important that your product or your service is a necessity, something that people can picture their life in. That if I picture my life with this woman's head, I see myself in a better place, right? So if you're a lot of people who want to buy, I think a brand that does this well would be I'm thinking of the fashion brand business that I can mention that does this thing so well. Which one can I mention? I have no on top of my head right now, but the idea is that people are selling the lifestyle to you. Like if I'm saying that I want to buy a, I want to exactly, I mentioned fitness. I want to gym. People who are gymming, do you realize that people who are selling gym clothes now are making money from water bottles, selling water bottles? Are making money from selling gym bag. Are making money from charity, from selling shoes, fitness shoes. Boy, it's just gym wear now that is the most essential. But people are buying other things because that's what makes the lifestyle the lifestyle. Sure, that's not what I'm trying to say. So this type of storytelling, it makes you picture the lifestyle. It doesn't picture, you don't picture the product, you picture the lifestyle. It makes you, and that's why you see that most people who are again fitness, you see people all these high fitness or maybe people who are selling gym clothes or gym accessories. You see their page, go to their Instagram, you go to their website, and then you see people who are built up, people who have six packs, people who have hourglass body, because that's the aspiration, that's the goal. Do you understand? So they're selling that lifestyle to you. That guy, this is what you want to come to me, oh, you will get it. Oh. Do you guys understand? So knowing how to show a customer where they currently are now, where they could be, and how you get them there position you, it puts you in a place where people would always come to, like you always sell. You can never be broke like that, guys. But I hope this technique is very clear. In fact, it's sweet. It's sweet, really. It's sweet. It's very sweet. Very sweet. Just sell lifestyles, people. Especially if you're into lifestyle. Like you see people who are selling jewelries. They don't just sell jewelries. They are doing get ready with me. What concern get ready with me with selling jewelry? But it's a lifestyle. You can't do jewelry without not wearing clothes, without not spraying perfume, without not feeling good. Because the essence of jewelry or makeup or hair is to feel good. It's to look good. It's to feel like, you know what, you're a boss, you're a princess. All these people are saying, you don't even care. And they're selling you that lifestyle. They're selling it to you that, yeah, if you want this lifestyle, come to this page, come to this brand, right? Please, next slide. Right. So used in almost every Apple product launch. So I was saying that even where you picture where you sort of frame where your customer is, where they could be, and how you can get them there. Apple uses this strategy a lot in their campaigns. Like you see it all the time. Like Apple is selling a lifestyle. I hope you guys know. I hope you guys know. People would rather buy phones than buy houses. What do you think? Why do you think so? Why? Why do you think so? People would rather buy phones than buy a house. Why do you think so? It's because phone comes with a lifestyle. House, to build house in this Lagos, you still have to think of location, you think of money, you think of money, you think of agbero, you think of cost of cement, cost of you think. But if you get a phone, you're using an iPhone. Oh my God, you're using a 16 Pro Max. Oh my God, you're a big girl. You're a big boy. That's the lifestyle. People who have 2K in their account, they're carrying 16 Pro Max. Why do you think that? Why do you think, guys? Like, are you joking? It's psychology. Tap into it. Tell yourself that you're going to be that person who position yourself as a brand, as a business, as a person who you would help people to picture where they are and where they want to be. And your business, the solution that you're providing is that gap, is that bridge between those two things. Because marketing is becoming emotional and traditional the way it was before. Everybody's tilting into emotional marketing, human psychology, because that's what is working. We live in a generation where everybody wants to do things because they feel like it. You want to do things because they make you happy, because they make you feel some type of way. So people are tapping into it like mad. Do you realize that in Africa has the largest amount of people who buy Apple products, and even people that are manufacturing the iPhone, the data Africans consume more than people abroad, people in the US, people in the UK, people in California, where they made the phone, they're not buying Apple the way we are buying it in this country. Why? Africans were poor. We have the consumer mindset. We want to feel like we're among. And that's why people are buying these things. And Apple is just there enjoying their life, collecting everybody's money, even my own money too. Because obviously I get money like that. But you get the vibe. Right. So you need to be able to embed a product, a service into a life-changing narrative. That's what it is basically. So when you're able to change people's narrative from, you know what? In fact, it happens too. I think I've seen one ad where there's this man who is cleaning. I think it happens in Temu too now. Exactly. Everybody here knows Temu. That was Temu's strategy. If you check their ads, it's still their strategy. So let me break this down for you guys here. Temu strategy is not that they're selling luxury. They didn't come to the market saying that they're selling luxury, they're selling premium, they're selling no, because we Nigerian we like premium, like they didn't come in to say this. They are here to say that if you want to shop like a billionaire, come to my app. Like, do you know what it means for a poor man like me, like you, to think that this brand they are saying if you come to them, you will shop like a billionaire. You will not now go. You will go. You will check everything that you can buy. Why? Because they understand that a lot of people, especially in the e-commerce, people want to buy clothes, want to buy things, but the prices of things are alarming. Economy is changing. We all need money, right? And Temu is here is saying that, you know what, we're here to solve that problem. Come to our app. And that's why they have so many free things. In fact, I have deleted Temu app twice, and they send me emails like every day. They send me emails too much. There's this thing where I've done where I've gotten free delivery, I've gotten 100% off, do you realize that people who have money, if their target is billionaires, people who have money, people who need money, do they need discounts? Do they need the off like them using up and down? They recognize that they are not telling you they're selling premium, they're telling you that they will give you clothing, in you will shop like this, you will be tired of shopping. That's what they're telling you. That's the experience they're giving you. So what this means is, again, storytelling works when you understand your target audience. You're not, it makes things easy for you when you understand the people who you're targeting. When you understand people that you're targeting, your campaigns flow towards that direction. You're even able to guard your metrics because you know that these are the things, sorry, this is what growth look like for me. This is what growth look like for me here. Right? So like I said, even Airbnb, they use it that you're not just booking a room, you're booking a story, you're booking a lifestyle. You go to Airbnb, there's pool, there's shower that does not have hand. But in your own house, you are standing to bath. You don't have lights in your Alakpere, but you are in Airbnb in Lekki that you're living large. That's the lifestyle, guys. The lifestyle is cost. That's the lifestyle, right? So great stories don't focus on brands, they focus on humans. I'm sure you guys have been see that this whole thing is not, there's a logic to it. It's not spiritual. It's not spiritual. Trust me, it's not spiritual. It's not spiritual at all. God, there's a place of spirituality. There's a place for spirituality where God gives you insights, gives you strategies. But trust me, this when you build on this, when you keep on meditating on this, God will even bless it on your head. Right? He said, I'm hitting my head. Anyway, so this is my favorite part. This is the favorite part where I said I'm really excited. Jim, because I'm talking about my favorite storytellers. I'm talking about people that I can watch their content from. Let me just go right to it. So first of all, it's Cotillo. I personally love Cotillo. In fact, she is a very interesting person to me. And let me tell you why she's interesting. She's simply interesting because she's very creative. She always comes up with new stuff, always does stuff that you can relate to. Now, for Cotillo, it's very simple. Who is Scotty's target audience? Gen Zs. Gen Zs like me and you, people who are in Lagos bus that were struggling to go to work, people who are creative, looking for food that they are going to eat, people who are finding love in clubs, people who are finding their life in Lekki, people who are coming to Lagos from Port Harcourt, they don't know where to go. That's Scotty's target audience. And she understands that, you know, my target audience are Gen Z, they're young people. And so when you look at her pillars, when you look at Curtis pillars, you talk about her pillars with celebrities. Once she calls celebrities, they have conversations. I think she started one about love and dating. She started another one too. These are pillars that she has created. These are the things that I can associate Curtis with. Because off the top of my head, I know that I watched this her series and I'm like, oh, Curtis series on love. Well, if you're looking for love in Lagos, Curtis has that. She has that mini series. So I say this all the time that the best way to grow on social media is not by posting consistently. There's a place for that, but one way to stay top of mind is basically create a mini series, create a niche, create something interesting that people will associate you with. I said this before, I'm going to say it again because trust me, every content creator that is on my head, every person who I can think of, honestly, every person I can think of is based on the fact that I can associate them with something. If I can't associate myself with something, how will I remember me? What differentiates Magodo Road from another road is just that Magodo Road is different. I've associated Magodo Road with iFitness Gym here in Lagos, and I can say I've associated Lekki to Lekki Ikoyi Link Bridge. That's different. That's what I've associated two of them with. So if I'm like, oh, if I'm going to Magodo, I'm like, oh, if I say high fitness, oh, that's Magodo. Of course, there's several high fitness gyms. So I'm just saying that for context. And then I look at and whenever I'm at Lekki Ikoyi Bridge, I'm like, this is Lekki. I'm Lekki babe. Do you understand? So anyway, storytellers Cotillo. Now Cotillo's content is raw, is vulnerable, cinematic storytelling and captures Gen Z emotions. I've said this before. Really awesome stuff. You should check her out. And what she's building is she's obviously I think she's one of our like young, Nigerian content creators on YouTube. Like I said, YouTube is the hardest place to go, bro. YouTube is not small. YouTube takes a lot. You need to learn at least. You need to know a bit of have you need to know an idea of creating thumbnail. You need to have an idea of copywriting music. You need to have an idea of, excuse me, of what your audience want to watch. You need to be consistent. And again, YouTube is not like Instagram that is 10 minutes, 10 seconds, you're gone. YouTube, you go see, you will sit down and talk. So if you're saying rubbish, you know you're saying rubbish. Do you understand? So YouTube is not a small joke. So if she is one of Nigerians' most distinct YouTube channel, then there's something she's doing right, and you should check her out. You should check her out, not her, check her out. And then there's Salem King. Like if you've been in this class, you know how much I'm a big fan of Salem King. I'm a big fan, and I shamelessly say it all the time, right? So how Salem started with his black and white video, yeah, where he just comes and talk about life experiences in a very, way, in a very way that sounds very interesting. And like, who is this guy that is talking, right? So Salem inspires using very small and powerful story moments in everyday life, like I said. So there's a time when even when he moves to Lagos, he started exploring meme content where he's like people living in Lekki right now. So he wore this thing that people that swim think they put on their eyes. I don't know the name. And then he's like preparing to swim because that's the lifestyle of everyone who's living in Lekki at the time that like in times like this that is raining. We are always swimming in water. Do you understand? So Salem also has a dynamic way of storytelling, right? So he has an impact on TikTok to incorporate collaboration through authentic storytelling. The storytelling are always authentic. And when I mean authentic doesn't mean that you are honest or you're how do I put this? It doesn't mean you're a perfect person, honestly. It doesn't mean that you're always going to be on your 100% every time. But what being authentic means, what it means is you're true to yourself. Like you're not copying anybody. This is your experience. This is your expertise. This is what happened to you. Not based on what happened to another person. You're not copying and pasting. This is your own story, right? So you should definitely check out Salem. Check out Salem. In fact, every person who is a content creator, aspiring content creator here should follow Salem because with Salem you get so much insight, so much honestly. It's so much. I can't even overemphasize that. For a content creator, you should definitely check him out. He has so much valuable content on how to be a content creator, how to batch create, how to um batch create, how to stay valuable, how to come up with content, and create ideas, how to do so many interesting stuff really. So you should definitely check him out. Please, tech team, help me to move to the second slide. Right. So find your voice, own your style. Consistency makes storytelling a career, not just a hobby. In fact, I am a victim on this table. I'm not even gonna lie to you guys. In fact, I am a victim in this box. I love storytelling. I love storytelling a whole lot. In fact, it's really the core of who I am because even when I'm not filming, I ask a lot of questions. I like sparking conversation, not just conversation like how are you. I like deep conversations like what do you think about this thing? If you were in my shoe, how would you think? How would you approach this? Do you understand? So consistency makes storytelling a career, not just a hobby. What would differentiate me? Excuse me. What would differentiate me from myself 2 years later is the consistency that I've kept in my storytelling. Kotsi has been doing content since she was a model. She started from being a model at the time, and this was around 2016, thereabout. That's when I started following Kotsi. I mean, look at and that's if she has not even started before that time. Look at the track record, guys. 2016 to 2025. That's how many years. That's almost. I finished one degree. I've done NYSC. I've worked for how many years with that this new but somebody has consistently done storytelling and now it's a career for that person. What that means is, guys, like it's not 1 year. Oh. For some people, it can be 1 year. For some people, it can be 2 years. For some people, it can be one day. But if you want to reap if you want to reap the rewards of content creation, of content marketing, of copywriting as a storyteller, because we are all storytellers, we are all here to impact, we are all here to write, to give an audience, to be expressive. We want to be heard. That's why we're here. If you want to reap the fruits, you need to make storytelling a career, and you can only do that through consistency. You have to be consistent, guys. It's hard though. I know what life for it. It's not hard. If it's easy, every person will be doing it. But guys, it's not easy. But guess what? When you're enjoying your benefits, nobody's going to be there. Right now, Koti I think she recently did a TED talk in Kenya or so. She's been invited to top podcasts, top shows in the world. She's representing creatives in Nigeria, in Africa. Like, these are the possibilities that are endless, guys, when you stay true to your story. And trust me, if all she was doing was copying other people, she won't be where she is, guys. Like you can't play the long-term goal as a content creator or as a content marketer or as a writer yourself when you're copying someone. You will get tired. It's not possible. We can only pretend for so long as humans. So learn to find your voice. Learn to own your style. You're not here to fit into it. You're not here to be like everybody else. Yeah, so look at people who has gone above you, beyond you, beside you. Check out for inspiration. Check out for what's working. What's the industry saying? What are the numbers? What are the stories that people are attracted to? Which industry will pay more? Which just it's good to look. No, you need to be aware. You need to Bible says ponder thy feet. You need to ponder the steps of your feet. You need to know where am I going, what's happening around me. Be aware, yes, but you own your style. Like you're not here to fit in, you're not here to be like Kotti, you're not here to be like Simon, you're not here to be like anybody but yourself, guy. Be yourself, own your style, own it, find your voice, find your people. Because if there's a man to write a story, there are people to listen, guys. That's just how it works. If you're telling your story, believe you that there are millions of people who also relate to what you're doing or what you're saying. Because one thing that devil also is every time that something is happening to you in your life, you always feel like you're alone. You always feel like as if that experience is unique to you. But that's a lie. There's no experience that has not happened under the sun, under this earth. It's not possible. But the devil always makes us feel like we are the only one, and that's why people get depressed, people get lonely, people get, oh, I'm the only person that's going through this. Life is dealing with me, blah blah blah, which is valid. It is true. This is what is happening. But what I'm trying to say is that if you're telling your story, don't ever think that nobody will listen to your story. That because if somebody like you, say if there's someone like if there are people like if there's someone like you can say you want to write a story, there are people like you. There's something called your tribe, your people, your audience, people who will listen to your voice. But if you are copying someone, how will you find your voice? How will you own your style? Please be expressive without boundaries. Well, there can be boundaries. I mean boundaries. Your boundaries should be what you place on yourself. It should be what you've kept around yourself that, oh, this is what I want to put out there, and this is the only thing I want to put out there. It shouldn't be if you're putting yourself in a box, it should not be based on fear. It should not be based on what other people think about me. Everybody will be right, all right though. And people we don't talk, now they reason another person matter. Please next. Next slide, please, 13. Next slide, next slide, next slide. We're waiting for the tech team to give us next slide. Hope the internet is not affecting you guys, because it's raining here and it keeps getting cold. I hope your network isn't glitching. I hope you are. I hope you are. I hope you're with me. Okay. Oh my God. Okay. Can you imagine? I didn't even know that we're already in our last slide. I thought I actually did more. So guys, so guys, so guys. Um, Let me give a summary of everything that we've spoken about today. We spoke about writing tone for several platforms like TV scripts, or let me not call it TV scripts so you don't get confused. Ads, basically, the tone, your writing style for ads. We've spoken about we've spoken about sorry, hold on, give me a minute. Okay, which is weird, honestly, because I wrote something about Tommy Care and Lai Wasabi. Because like I said, I highlighted at least four creators who are doing, who have diverse storytelling systems, but they are still on top of the game. What I just mean to say is that, like I said, yeah, it's not a one size fits all. It's not a what's it called? It's not like I want to be like somebody. Create your own style, find your own. Now, Lai Wasabi, guess what, guys? Like, you guys will underestimate that this guy writes those scripts. Like, somebody is writing those scripts that I used to say. And the best part, when I tell you guys about series, you guys think I'm just yapping. I'm not just yapping, guys. If I'm thinking of Lai Wasabi, do you know what I think about? I don't even think about the lawyer. Oh. What I think about is JJC. What's more that is a money making scheme, because it takes someone with so much intellect. See, oh my God, it takes someone with so much intellect to write those scripts, say them with so much lucidity, like, and still body it. You're telling me that. I don't know if you guys watch Live Wasabi money scheme. I've forgotten what I think it's GG, something that I call Getting Rich, Making Money, Mr. Richard. Exactly. Those is Mr. Richard series, guys. Those are my favorite because it's how everything he says is funny but always makes sense. Like, this guy is a brilliant guy. Like, super brilliant. Imagine. He was doing lawyer before. Lawyer is going well. Everybody understands lawyer. I mean, everybody understands lawyer. Everybody likes lawyer. But it's like, guy, I still have this content. I still have this storytelling thing that I can do that. Let me be doing as Mr. Richards. And that's my favorite content. Lawyer is my favorite. When I see Mr. Richard, I am like the joy in my heart. Do you know what makes it also very interesting? What makes it very interesting is because his physique is funny. Like, that was everything is super tall, guys. He's long. He's not even tall. He's long. But guess what? He owns it. He owns it like the product in his chest. But then there's me. And then there's you, who is fine. But we still don't want to put ourselves out there. But I'm thinking of what people will say. Oh, well done, oh. Keep thinking. Like what's happening now that people are rushing, people are telling him what's boy. Because now he has money. When he started, then people are saying, guys, this guy is so long with his big leg and but now, guys, so Tomike as well. I mentioned Tomike earlier. Tomike has one of the strongest communities online right now. Like, everybody knows Tomike, everybody knows Oloriedi. Check her captions. Her captions are long. They are long. It's not for you. It's for our family members. I'm going to check our caption, our comment section. Our family members are replying to that long thing. But I thought people are teaching that on social media, it's short captions that work. Olori Ebi Unko, what was she doing? Is she French she's speaking? Is English that she's speaking that she writes so many paragraphs? People like me and you are responding there. They're responding to the one she says, responding to the one that she does not say. What does that mean to you? It means that, guys, once you understand your audience, there's no limit to what you can do. In fact, create 10 series that are interesting. As long as you are true to yourself, as long as you own your style, you're not copying anybody. Before online my service started, Mr. Richard, there be money making scheme. Oh, what was on that thing? Because every time I remember, I always just picture him wearing blue shirt and his scarf and his long this thing. And his series is always so funny. It's always too funny, guys. Too funny. In fact, there's something now that I'm learning that right now, even the way ads are, people, the way brands, the way content creators are creating ads for brands, they don't create it in a way that they're just like, they'll come to the camera and say, hey guys, Paystack will help you send your money from Canada to. No, they will do their content. Eh? The ad, the solution that the ad is providing will just somehow, they will just somehow infuse it inside that thing. Something I don't know if you guys know Gilmore. I think it's Gilmore, that's his name. Because this guy fascinates me, guys. Like comedy guys are fascinating. Like they're fascinating because well, after I go online and then I search for this guy, I just watch their content and I laugh, I burst out in laughter, in premium laughter. But because they are doing comedy, people don't understand that everything they are saying is written. There's a writer. The script is not random. There's a goal. I watched something at Gilmore. I don't know if you guys will watch Gilmore. That guy busts me. Like he makes me laugh all the time. And at times when he does his ads, like those okay, for an example, yes, I remember there was a time when he did his content where crazy things in Lagos, where he mentioned where like you jump on bike, like the crazy things that people do in Lagos, where people jump on a moving BRT, people pull in a lagoon. And then he did one when you enter one, like of course, if you're entering Lagos, some estates in Lagos, you need to have access code. Right. And then he was driving, and then the security man was like, access code. And then the security man wanted to collect money from me, and then just said, okay, use paper now. You don't try this before. Oh no. So the gate man now collected money to that POS, and the POS is people that he was marketing for. But it didn't look like an ad. It looked so organic, guys. Like I'm saying that this thing is not, it's not round, like it's I can go ahead. I can go on, keep talking about this because it makes me see how people are so creative. But you won't know you are creative except you start, guys. Like you won't know. It's not your dream. God not come and wake you up like he did Mary. You're not Mary, you're not carrying Jesus. No angel will come to you and want to tell you that you have spiritual talent. Nobody. You need to get the work. You need to start doing the work, guys. So please, if you don't remember anything, remember to find your voice. Remember to know who you are. Like how, like in the next 10 years, what do you want to be known for? What do you want to be remembered for? You want to be remembered for the person who shares poetic poems, that resonate with people who are in love, who are in romantic relationships. You want to you want to write about your experience. You want to write about stories about people who have been raped because you have that experience. You want to write about football, you want to write about events happening in Lagos. Like, it doesn't have to be deep like that. If your why is to make money, if your why is to any reason that you identify your why is, as long as is legitimate to you, you don't need another person qualification, you don't need another person understanding. Yours is enough for you. And once you have the backing of God, please why not go ahead, right? So find your voice. Find your voice. Find what do I want to be known for in the next 10 years. How do I want my brand to look like? So, and I mean, look at Rihanna. Rihanna started from music, and right now she's doing business. But trust me, you will still see how authentic she is, in the sense that she's telling you. I mean, she has always said it from the beginning. If you're being a Rihanna fan, You always know that she liked Barbados. I mean, that's her hometown. She really liked makeup because I think her mom was into makeup at the time. She always said these stories. So it's not new that she started a makeup brand. It's not new that she's doing things to help her home because that's her story. That's what she has always said. Right? So in all of your getting, find your voice, own your style. Consistency makes storytelling a career. You won't say that you're a storyteller today and you just have one blog that you write once in a month or once in 6 months. It doesn't work like that, my dear. It doesn't. Consistency makes storytelling a career, not just a hobby. So you need to be consistent. And if there's anything that works, you need to realize that at this stage that you are in, consistency will not look like every day. It won't look like 30 days challenge for you because you're just starting. Set realistic small goals for yourself. If I'm saying that every 3 days in a week I want to show up and put out the YouTube content or write a blog post once in a week or twice in a week, and I'm consistent with that, that's consistency as well. I hope you know that. Consistency and frequency are not the same thing. Identify where you are right now and choose small steps, and then you progress from there. It's super important. This is super important. So let me take a many minutes to for questions. Um, so guys, do you have any questions for me? Let me go through the comments. Let me go through the comments and check if let me find the questions. Do you have questions for me? Let me go ahead and check questions. Questions. Can you kindly give us a format on how script can be written? Yeah, of course I can do that. Um, okay, we will do that in the next class to give you a format on how a script can be written. I mean, I can give you a generic approach, but like I said, script differs based on what your goal is. Honestly, a script is nothing ambiguous to me. It's just basically the message you want to pass across. What is the goal of it? It's just that simple. It's not so I'm not teaching you how to write a movie script, or I'm teaching you how to write a script when you're creating content. And as a writer, if you're writing something and you want to have a script or a copy, I can give you a format for that. I can teach you how. But like I said, it's something that you can do once you identify what your goal is, what you want to achieve. So let me go down. Say, love it, borrow me this your class. Okay, come on, take it. You know my location. Okay, how do we know how to, I guess this question is, how do we know how to create a niche? So I'm not a fan of telling people to focus on a niche because I believe that humans are multi-talented. Everybody has different passions and different sides that make you a fuller expression of who you are. But I think that how you can know or how to start from somewhere is basically by asking what your why is. Asking why do you want to start creating content? What do you want to be known for? First of all, that's just answer your why and answer what do you want to be known for, honestly. Because when you understand what you want to be known for, it helps you. So, for example, if I'm someone who I like fashionable items, I like fashion, right? It's very, very, very easy for me. Very easy for me to start creating content on fashion, talking about case studies in fashion, create transition videos, how to style, because I'm passionate about fashion. So you are the only person who can identify what you want to be known for. And what you want to be known for is definitely just a niche. That's just summary of what a niche is. I hope that answers your question. The truth is, I'm not going to I can't help you except you help me help you. So this is not a class. I said it all the time. This is not a class where you just say, um, there's no magic wand. You have to figure it out. So even if you don't know what your niche is, start creating. You will know. If you don't know what your niche is, you will know what you don't want your niche to be. I don't know if that makes sense. Like, experience teaches. You need to take that step. I said something about creating a page. Can I use my personal page and start growing? Yeah, you can. Why not? Definitely. Someone asked for the difference between advertising and copywriting. Please help out. Okay. Advertising is everything that you see all around you, every ad that you see, every visual, every billboard, every motion graphics, every ads are popping everywhere. I don't even know how to describe it, but that every billboard, everything that you see all around you, every mall with their name on it, every car with their name on it, that has adverts. If you're putting your brand out there, you're advertising it. Like, but the difference between advertising and copywriting is copywriting is a call to action. So you are able to track. But for advertising, even though you're able to track, you know, not all advertisements you're able to find out what the ROI is. And ROI is return of investment of investment, yes. But for copywriting, the goal is persuasive. The goal is this is my CTA, this is what I want people to do. And when people start to do it, you know that it's from this that you put out there. But for advertising is just advertising. You just advertise. You just advertise, right? Because so for example, if I put up a billboard on at Lekki Ikoyi on that bridge, how will I know that? I mean, well, how will I know that? How will I track the analytics of people who are checking the billboard and people who are coming to my page? How will I know? That's the difference between advertising and copywriting. Copywriting is more strategic. It's persuasive. It's telling you, and there's a call to action. I'm not just saying my shop is at Bariga Market. I'm saying my shop is at Bariga Market. Call this number. People that call that number, I know that they saw that ad. So they're not mutually exclusive. They work hand in hand. I hope that helps. Right. My question is from the last class. The website to my question is from the last class. The website to search keywords. They were asking for payment. Is that how it works, or is there another alternative? Okay. What website was that? If you can tell me what website that was, I would like to know. Say we're getting started on knowing your voice, tone, and personality. How can we still publish content and it won't be like someone who's confused, right? Okay. The question says, say we're just getting started on knowing our voice, tone, and personality. Can we still publish content and it won't still be like someone who is confused? Okay, I get the question now. So guys, my people, if you guys don't win in 2025, if I don't see you become content creators who are pushing out valuable content out there, me and you are going to fight. We're all going to fight. So to answer your question, the truth is, like I said, yeah, you won't know except you try, my dear. That's just the honest truth. Even myself as a content marketer, there are several things that I try every day. In fact, I had a presentation today where I was telling my line manager that if this doesn't work, then I think I might want to resign. But he was like, no, you can't say that. But I'm saying that you always have to test. You always have to test the market. You have to see, even if it doesn't work, you know what doesn't work. So next time you don't do it. You can't be afraid of failure. You can only know, I said you can only redefine what you're working on, what you're doing. I gave an example of Instagram. Instagram is not how they used to be in 2016. And if Instagram started today, they won't be as good as they are today. It's all the experiences, everything that they've tried. You can only define like clarity comes on the road. So for you to consistently, yes, you look cringe, you look foolish. I have content that I look and I'm even embarrassed. But I will not put it down, leave it there. So 10 years time, I'll still look at it and laugh. Like, oh, look at where you be that time. Excuse me. I give an example of whiskey. You compare the whiskey of back in 2011 to the whiskey now. Why is he not doing the same music as he's doing before? Because he's moved past it. He's not that same person anymore. And the content, the music that he's singing to, there are people not vibing to it. People are still vibing to it. So please publish your content. It will be cringe, but you will know what works, you will know what doesn't work. And what if it works? You never know, guys. How are we going to make money with our content? Very easy. Very easy. You let your content be valuable. You'll be tired of money. Trust me. You just let your content be valuable. Can I use my personal page for two different type of business? Can I use my personal page for two type of business? Storytelling content and business content. Yes, you can. In fact, if you're doing a business, your business should not just be strategically on sales. You should have diverse content pillars, which I spoke about. Can you categorize posting of literal works analysis on social media platform as a content creator? As a content creation, hold on. Can we categorize posting of literary works analysis on social media platform as a content creator? Yes. When you mean literary works, what do you mean? You mean poems, poems, all of those English. People that know English, they are here now. Literary works. I think you can post anything on social media. You just need to identify who your target audience is, like I mentioned. It's just as simple as that. Just as simple as that. Can storytelling be in written form as well? Of course, storytelling can be in written form. I think you look at people like Victor Oba, like you and they, one person in TikTok on Twitter, and look at their storytelling content and look at the impressions and the numbers they get. Those, I mean, Hawa is a typical example. Hawa started by writing fun humor content, and now she's showing her face. 2 years ago, no one knew Hawa's face. She was a faceless content writer. But today, everybody knows her face. So it means that you can write, my dear. Whatever platform works for you, whatever works for you. Websites, okay. Um, okay, Sharon says the website at Google Planner, SEMrush, search. She was unable to search for keywords. Hmm. That's strange. Search word suggestions. Are you saying that on the website, on Google Planner, SEMrush, and Google Search, they were asking you for payment? Is that it? So I'm clear on what you're saying. Okay. Please answer questions, Ogbonna. How do you create content, either video or writing? How do you create content, either video or writing on motivation and inspiration? That's very simple, guy. All you have to do is create the content. It's as simple as that. Like, create the content. Who are the people? I mean, now that you know what you want to create your content on, that's very good. Like, look for inspirations. Look at people that you aspire to be. Like, have a mood board. What do you want your? How many minutes is your video? What do you want to say? Who are your target audience? So if are you speaking like a millennial? Are you speaking like a Gen Z? Do you want to use written format? Do you want to use video format? Um, who is your inspiration and motivation for? Like, there's so much, guys. So, Precious, I hope that answers your question. You can do so much. You just need to start creating the content. That's what the truth. Because security comes on the middle, like I said. It'll be cringe. You won't believe. People will not like your video for the first 2 months, 3 months. But you will continue, my dear, because you know your why. So yeah, guys, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'm just going to head out now. Thank you for the class. Thank you for engaging. So let's have a wonderful night, and I'm gonna see you in the next class, which is on Wednesday. Yeah. So bye now. See you. Bye.